Yep, welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Last time we went through a lot of pretty rough stuff, but hopefully things are getting better now. Surely, I'm sure nothing bad will happen anymore for the rest of the story. That was a short intro. I normally yap on for a bit longer. I think I said everything I wanted to say at the end of the last episode. That was a door. I might have been. I might have best less. What? I might have best let stay shut. Oh, I see. It's a continuation of the last sentence. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Relatable? Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I didn't know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them, and from there calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, an oppressive sound stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone, about the things we're thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even if down that road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle. Could you please tell me what you did what was done to you in my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion and what happened after you left? I would like to know everything from start to finish. Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you'll find what I have to say agreeable. Do you still believe me even then? Believe my word a stranger's words? Or your family or the people of the village? I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. So, I got raped by your dad, then I got sent here, then you threatened me with a knife, then I passed out in the forest, then I got taken in by a weird priest guy, I got taken in by their village. Then they accused me of stealing, and I got tortured for like a whole day, I got waterboarded. And then they were gonna rape me, but I convinced them to go rob your house instead, and now I'm here. She told me of how she accepted an offer from Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family. Of how my father and Antoine had other plans for her. Of the things he did to her. He spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down though. I had heard her pain scream, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her, protect herself. Of that, I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned my father was a rapist, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me? I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take anymore. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind, so why had I taught her Leather the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything. I had to face it now, to open my eyes once more to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will. I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first, I assumed it would be essentially a private prison. But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter. A letter from whom? I didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining that there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more details than that. But it did ask me to look after you. Do you still have the letter? I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter. It was anything but. What? Ah. It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive. In who? My brother, I believe. Either Didier? Diddy? Didier's brother? Or George's, but I would guess Didier. Didier? your brother? Why would he? I do not know. I can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me. I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you. And why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest. Alright. Giselle resumed her story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because you could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described that night in the rain, listening to the thunder when she gave up on living, and yet I had caused it. She didn't tell me of the time she spent in the nearby village, how at first life had seemed wonderful. But in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. When she was through with her tale, she let out a long heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air as she exhaled. That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if, that day, when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this. Yeah, it's kind of... it's your fault, really, if you think about it. The knife. What? You were holding a knife. I was joking, by the way. I'm joking. I'm just joking. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do. Ah, now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. Did the package arrive when you knocked my hand away? Because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time. I'd assumed she was simply jumpy from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damn fool I was. Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed, I couldn't fight back, you didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures, they wound easily. Apologize. What? Apologize to me. I said apologize. I'm sorry. Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more, get down on your knees and shout it from your gut. I'm so very sorry. It's like 1 AM, so I can't actually scream. Is that a laugh? Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange? You told me to do it. Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did. You listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed? Oh, yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You faced up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. The feeling was mutual, but for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself, and for that I am truly sorry. I don't understand. What? Do I need to get down on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You were a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. He planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Amade was probably in on it as well. Get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Yeah. Plus, giving the village a single target to allow their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from the trap, you told them about me. This was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for. Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square. 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 We were both in the wrong, so we apologized and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of her crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I am Anthony's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all of my family, everyone I had ever come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being his son, being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that. You're curious. What? Curious? About what? No, not that curious. You're a strange creature. Like, a line like that, like, it's crazy that this is translated from Japanese, right? Because a line like that, it sounds, this is such like a native, like, English dialogue, right? Like, there's no way to do anything close to this in Japanese. I'm human, you know? Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? It's quite a leap in logic. Haha. You know, I was at my lowest just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt relieved to see it. I really truly wish I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I'd had just a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I let my initial impression of him solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the arctic stare. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress. Or at the very least, he appeared to from where I was standing. The shell was, just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing here in this mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Are you going to keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know? Be quiet, for the love of God. Stop talking already. You always pick the worst time. What? Excuse me. What do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't. Unbelievable. Just when I was starting to think you might actually be a decent human being, and you couldn't spot this. No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you. Who else could it have been? I was, talking to, you know, I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts. Okay, it's cute how he's using, like, the same, like, stupid excuse that she did when she said she was allergic to people. You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse. There we go. Great minds think alike. Sorry. Weirdo. What cross did he bear? What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And if it was, even if you did, please tell me everything. But what you say, I won't doubt your words. I'll trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please. If you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with. Okay. Where should I start, though? How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, not gonna bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that. So what you said outside was a bluff then? It was just a way to chase the villagers away. Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone, huh? Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others would disagree, and the reasons for that has to do with my body. Your skin, hair, and eye color, right? Right. Seeing Michael under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I'm oversensitive to sunlight. While a little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside directly under the sun for more than a couple of hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Just because you look different from them? Okay, so you... How old are you? The family's reputation was at stake too. If other noble houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me. I suspected the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have. I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon. That you looked like an angel. A what? I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. It never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you've lived all alone in this dark mansion for 10 years. It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need. You big liar. Have you never considered running away? That's not an option. Because of the sun? No, I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched, to ensure I don't leave. Watched? They can't allow anyone to find out that I am alive, particularly at the Bollinger estate. If I were to run and they were to find out, I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. Is that really it? I feel like you're not saying everything. I've all but given up that hope now, though. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it. I see. You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me. And it's not something that should ever become normal. So, what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad. Is this going to be out the witch's whisper? Don't worry, I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. Yeah. The witch's voice? It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy. Not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years all alone in one place and you're bound to start hearing things. I mean, I would think the same thing, to be fair. He seems like a delicate person too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him. Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. Huh? I've made it up my mind. I'm going to stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry, I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore. Will you now? If you hear it again, let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid. I never said I was. Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Master. Now, where should we begin? I know, supper. Are you hungry? What should I make? Slow down, please. What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate. You actually intend to stay here again? After what happened last time? Because of what happened. Because of that, we're finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. And this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master. Alright. I can stay here, right? I don't mind. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Say. Yes, Master? If you ever want something from me, could I please ask you to put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Is he autistic? Got it then. Then here's something to start with. Why do you say we open some of these windows? Open the windows? Yeah, we don't have to do it if you think it will cause you problems, but it would be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave. I wasn't the one who bared the windows. You weren't? You were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I'm sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the windows shouldn't cause any problems. Alright then, can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten this place up. After a few moments of silence, Michelle gave me a cursed nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by rusted over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I had ever seen before. This is called a metaphor, by the way, in English class. Flooded into the Dark Mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us it was a huge accomplishment. This time, it'll all work out. It has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together, but now that I'm alone in the dark, in the absolute silence of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. I'm starting to feel like something bad is going to happen, like I'm going to mess something up again. We took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together, to keep thinking positive. Because you after Giselle are not cheap, understand? Thus said the Lord of Hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, and she has betrayed her fellow man. Ugh, it's alright, it's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you have to hold fast to your faith in the goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. There's no one there. The witch! What was that about? Oh? A glass. It's wine and it's so warm. I guess he heated it on the fire for me? Oh, you could have at least said hi. I have a feeling this is going to work out. Back at the mansion? No. The light shining in through the windows is swallowed whole by the darkness, as if the stare time together never actually existed. We saw it though. Together we watched a light crack open the darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. Please find yourself. Please, Giselle, don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen that most beautiful light. Giselle, but are these truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's tale? Like all the others we have seen so far? She is so bright and energetic, and I am neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own. This is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. It was all very much real. As were the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days. Those words create a strange warmness within my chest. But at the same time, to make me indescribably anxious. Is there really happiness to be found down that road? Even if her past doesn't lead to happiness, it could be worse. It couldn't be worse than where we are now. Come, Giselle, to the spring that made us more than just strangers. Master, come on, get up. Up with you. This is the scene we saw with the ghost. Master. Huh? See, what did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Morning. Wait a sec. Don't you hide under your bedspread. Get out of there. I'm fine with my room staying dark. What's she even doing in here? Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows. I did, yes. Don't worry, I'll put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best part of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. Okay, looking back on it, I should have realized, because we saw the scene earlier, but like with question marks for the characters, so we couldn't tell who was talking. But I should have realized that her saying, "Don't worry, I'll put the curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them." I should have realized that was referring to. I mean, I wouldn't have realized it was Michelle, but I probably should have thought that it was the white-haired girl, Because the white-haired girl, I said before that she's very sensitive to sunlight. So I should have made the connection there. Mornings take the best part of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either, just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of leaves. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? Kind of. Ugh. But you wouldn't be if you weren't, so for now, I won't get on you about it. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind. Haha. I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. What did you think of me? Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality, too. There's not a single good trait on that list. No, hear me out here. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice, too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me, too. This is just the beginning, after all. We've got a long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time, then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to before? Where should we begin? I know, we can get this place cleaned up. Again? Do you want to clean? Not that there's some actual light in here. We can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place. Hey, her sprites are very cute, by the way. My vision was still slightly unfocused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus's embrace. But I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. I won't make the easy joke here, but I've never heard Morpheus's embrace before. It was the first time I had gotten a good look at her in the light. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion in those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of the tribulation she had endured tainted her pure jade eyes. She's surprisingly good looking. I'm clearly not myself right now. Is something the matter, Master? I know, you're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm just going to have to throw my best bucket of water on you. What is the best bucket of water? I'm awake. Is there something on my face then? Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. So I'm just scanning for if there's any red text, but no, doesn't seem like it. I got my first decent look at Michelle's face under the light that morning. Watching him stifle a yawn as he crawled out of bed. All the little details I hadn't been able to pick up on in the darkness. His expression, mannerisms, and the way he looked at me. They're both thinking the same thing. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. I was probably, no, almost certainly, making a really dumb face at him. So wait. In the other stories, was... No, never mind. Because there is a white-haired girl here, right? That we saw in the painting that he had, like, fucking torn apart. I was gonna say, is the white-haired girl in the other stories, like, Michelle reincarnated with the witch's thing? And, he just got reincarnated as a girl for some reason? I was probably, no, almost certainly making a really dumb face at him. Is it just me, or is he kind of, no, very pretty? He is very pretty, indeed. How could I have not noticed until now? Oh geez, well, I can't look him in the eyes. Yes, what can I do for you? Is there something on my face? No, or, huh? Hair monster. Excuse me? No, your hair, it's really long. Yes, that's it. It's way too long. Oh, is that any way for a servant to speak to her master? I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status against you anymore. I see. It's really hard to tell if he's joking or not. So about that clearly, he's giving... being hard to tell if he's joking or not. Him saying that, like, he has trouble picking up on subtext and he wants her to, like, say what she's feeling clearly. Getting big autistic vibes from him. So about that cleaning. May I wash my face first? What? You're going to help? As I just said, I'm not going to act like I'm superior to you anymore. What are you sneaking around about? I can't help it, I'm happy. If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it. Huh? I can cut it? Of course, I'll give you the best haircut you've ever had. Oh, but I should warn you, you'll want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always said you were as likely to lose an ear as you were your hair whenever I cut it. You should stay away from me. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day following our opening up to each other. Maybe this was normal and I had simply never felt it before. I didn't know. I had thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail. But here I was, a day later, already there. Was that how it usually worked? Do people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. A lot of friction had dissipated in an instant, and it was like we had known each other for years. But not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I had always done by myself. Hey, I see you setting aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything. Do you have any idea why there was so much rotting parsnip in the cellar? I don't care for it. You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh, you're not a kid, so don't be so picky. It's not good for you. It hasn't caused any problem thus far. It will soon enough. I can't believe you. You have limited supplies, and you won't eat your vegetables? No, question, I've got an idea. Go on. Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone? Meaning? I was just wondering if it was possible to make requests. If I could, I would just go out on a shopping trip. Perish the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from. You're right. Say, are you saying that out of concern for... Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night. And I'm not interested in throwing out more servants to the lions. Being very tsundere right now. You know, you're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought. What that's supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Back to your question about the delivery, yes you can. I haven't made any requests recently, but you can write what you want on a sheet of parchment, or if we don't have any, something similar. Put it in the box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive with the next package. Why, is there something you need? Yeah, I was hoping to increase your selection of vegetables. And while I'm at it, if possible... Actually, that's a secret. A secret? It's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right. My relationship with Michel gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friends. He was still my master, but he allowed me almost complete freedom. And he didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. He was still not very talkative and oftentimes hard to read. What work are you doing? He at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself, though not in much detail, and anytime his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Also, Michel has obviously, like, not told you the entire truth yet. Like, we still don't know what the deal was with the painting. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to this remote mansion. I had never encountered Michel's brother while at his family's estate, but assuming he was right and it was one of them who had given me that letter, we were likely our only allies at that house. I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years, Michel had muttered, to which I had replied, have faith. It was better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. My being able to find renewed relief in the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have that faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling time, it was a humble, simple one with just the two of us, but I wouldn't trade that life for anything. Does Michel's family think that you were at the mansion the entire time, or have they heard that you left and they think that you've just left forever, and they've like punished your family now? Like, how much do they know? Some people might think it dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help with the cooking. I do, honestly, but this is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront to gastronomy. This is unearthly disgusting. Give me better ingredients. What? I'm not a bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients. These are simply bad ingredients. If they were better, they would taste just fine boiled. And it's not as bad as you claim besides. You make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've been eating this for years. I don't see the problem. I've heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm going to wipe down the top shelf. I can't handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on a chair. It's not as simple as just running a rag over it. I've got practice, so let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than expected. I probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're going to want to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here goes. This is quite practiced. Is there any need for me to be holding the chair? Achoo! What? What? Are they gonna fall on top of each other? Oh, hold the chair! Ow. I'm so sorry, I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master? Your hand is... They're really doing an anime fucking boob fall in this. What? Your hand is, it's on my chest. It was an accident. Right, it was. It's fine, really. It was my fault anyway. It's completely, totally fine. I can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward? So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that. This is how you know this is a Japanese story, by the way. If it wasn't for that scene, it would be impossible to tell, but this is the smoking gun. That's easier said than done. I have to do something about the stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was. But that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. Oh god, this is gonna be cringe. I'm not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. It felt like I was... It felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. Holy banger. You're in, man. I hardly even perceived it as a breast. An obese rat. What? How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm going to rip every last hair off your head. Leave my hair out of this. That's pretty funny. Say, Master, what did you do all this time all by yourself? That's an exceedingly vague question. Say when you're really, really stupidly bored out of your mind. What did you do to keep yourself occupied? Meditate? Just how many times have you reached enlightenment? I sometimes play chess too. Chess? Wait, by yourself? Yes, I imagine how an opponent might react to my moves, and play the other side that way. That's kind of depressing to think about. How about this, Master? Play a game against me. You know the rules? You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with trends and know all sorts of games. Oh ho! Prepare to meet your maker. So, who was I supposed to prepare to meet again? Come on, have a little mercy, you trounced me. One more time, I just wasn't at the top of my game. Oh god, he's a chess master. When am I going to meet this maker? What? How? When did you put me in this checkmate? One more. Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. My king. Please stop. Amateur. Can't you just go a little bit easy? You never asked me to go easy. This isn't a game. This is slaughter. This is a one-sided massacre. About this maker. And I'm looking right at him. That was actually kind of fun. No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair. Such as? Let's see. Oh, I know. Arm wrestling. Huh? Arm wrestling? Yeah, you sit across from each other, put your elbow on the table, grab hands, and see who can pin the other down. Who would ever willingly participate in such a primitive competition? Not interested then? Or you're afraid you might lose? Alright then. I can't imagine losing to a woman. Okay, elbow on the table. Start my count. Ready? Go! Victory! I guess that's what happens when you live as a hikikomori in your mansion for 10 years. Also, she's been milking cows for a couple months, so she put on some muscle, I guess. Okay, so this was the slice of life montage. With each passing day, it grew less and less unusual having Giselle always at my side. I began more freely engaging in silliness, speaking my mind and showing emotion. I could say her name, and Giselle would turn around and smile at me. An unimaginable sight not long ago. For 10 years I had lived alone. Solitude had been my normal, but that was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I would say good friend was probably the most apt. Time continued to press on, our relationship remaining relatively stable. Eventually, summer came, bringing with it the longest period of sunlight I had experienced in many years. Then, the leaves began falling from the trees, and before long, the world grew cold and dreary. That winter, the fireplace was never without a crackling blaze in its belly. The boiled wine we drank was undoubtedly middling and cheap. But she said with a smile, I've never had wine this good before. And though I didn't say anything, I felt the same way. The sun sets much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. It is very cute. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? Are you reading the Lord's Diary? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs. They can be near the fire. Didn't the white-haired girl say this in the last story? Or who said this? Someone said this early in the game, but I forget who and when. Was it the maid in one of the bad endings, maybe? Or because there's ale. Drunkenness makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to the ears. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say, yes? Do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Please don't tell me you're bringing the obese rat incident back up. The obese rat incident. No, not that. Before that. Before we could actually talk to each other. I believe I suggested we breed something together if you ever felt the inclination. You might have. Can't say I remember. Are you sure about that? You turned down my proposal, saying I was wasting my time. But look, it actually happened. Even if you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this moment would come. I was, for the most part, focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. But to be honest, I didn't expect there would ever actually come a time we would sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book. You never know how things might pan out. I actually do remember. I remember how I tried to push her away, how much I mistrusted her. I was nothing but hostile towards her. People change, and perhaps, if they can, so can the future. Maybe I can hope that, like our friendship, there's a chance the future might take a turn for the better. Yeah, I don't know about that. Is something the matter? I don't much care for hypotheticals, but if by some chance I were someday to be able to return to that house, should that time come, that house is home to her nightmares, even if it didn't happen until after my father was gone. It wouldn't erase what he had done to her there. She acts like nothing's wrong though. I don't know. Have her wounds healed or do they still remain? Should that time come? Should that time come, if that day comes, I'll do what I can to ensure you have a comfortable life in the city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I can work something out. I see. Thank you very much. But if you would be comfortable doing so, I would be pleased if you were to join me. I mean, as a servant. As a servant. Yes, a servant. We're, short on hands. I see, a servant. Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, as a servant. Alright, sure, I think I will. I would like to accompany you, Master. How exciting. I'm sure a wonderful future awaits us. I pray so. Now, back to the story. I believe we had just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess. I bet he was a big, buff, muscular knight. Let's not talk about how muscular he was. That's a sore point for you. She let out a gentle laugh, and I thought I smelled something sweet on her breath. Was it her scent or perhaps just my imagination? I had no way of knowing. We sat so close, even the slightest shift seemed sufficient to allow me to hear the sound of her heartbeat, causing mine to accelerate. Curiosities flooded my mind. What might she be thinking right now? What does she think about me? And as much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment. I just briefly lost my way. I tried to convince myself otherwise. It was all in vain. When had my pulse gotten so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When, how, or why was this happening to me? I thought I had already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. Okay, the chapter just changed according to the game's title, so I'm going to stop here for now. I mean, this is definitely nice after after what we went through last episode. And I mean, I said this last time, but like having all the like depressing lows of what happened last time compared to like the relative high of like them getting along and living happily this time. Like it makes it feel, it definitely like heightens it heightens the high, right? Like it makes it feel better because of what happened before. I'm still not sure if like it outweighs it in how I feel about it. I don't know. I need to think about it. But I mean, yeah. I mean, as it is right now, it's very effective. I definitely care for these characters, and I want them to. I think they have good chemistry, and I hope they have a successful future, and they don't like get killed tragically, like it's probably going to happen. But I mean, it was effective in doing what it attempted to do. I definitely care for Giselle, and I care for Michelle, and yeah. Even though Michelle is still hiding something that he hasn't told us, but yeah. I'm trying to think how the story is gonna end. It's definitely gonna end with both of them dying tragically, because all the stories end that way. Is it gonna have something to do with the witch? Or... because I think the painting that he was freaking out about... my theory at the beginning of this episode, or not of this episode, but of this story, was that he had like been in love with someone, but she like ended up marrying someone else, and the paintings were sent to him to like taunt him or something, because that seemed to be what he was saying when he received the landscape painting, and how he reacted to the portrait of the white hair girl that he had torn apart, and he was like, that woman is a demon. So that seems like he's had his heart broken, I think, or something like that. I'm not really sure what else it could be. It could be that it could be something to do with the witch. I'm not sure. But yeah, the slice of life scenes were generally enjoyable. I like seeing them like hang around and like goof out. The obese rat thing was genuinely very funny. Him being bad at cooking, yeah, and this was a good time. I'm sad that in the next episode things are probably gonna take a turn for the worse, but you know, it's a story, so things have gotta happen. I wonder if we're gonna learn about the witch's story, like how the witch came to be, or if she's just gonna be like a force of nature that just impacts the story. Yeah, I don't know. But hopefully nothing bad happens to Giselle and Michelle and they live happily ever after and they get married and they have kids and nothing bad happens. Let's hope for that. Okay. Yeah, gonna end it here. See you next time for nothing bad to happen. Alright, so yeah.